don't give a damn. Tells it straight just who he am. No filter, no fear, he cuts through the noise. Dick Buttons speaking truth with that big old voice. It's the world, yeah, the world. According to Dick Buttons, Fridays get real every damn week. Tune in, lean in, and let the man speak.
Hello, everybody. This is The World According to Dick Buttons. I'm Dick Buttons, and I'm glad you tuned in. We have got tons of stuff to talk about this week, so strap in, pour yourself a cold one, and let's get started.
He's fed up, fired up, and ready to unload. Hold on to your pants. It's time for Dick Buttons rants.
All right. Buckle up, folks, because today I witnessed something so jaw-droppingly grotesque, so primal, so feral, that I nearly lost the will to believe in the human race. Picture this. I'm at a family resort, sun shining, kids laughing, parents pretending to parent, and there's a cute little playground with a sandbox. Innocent, right? The kind of idyllic Norman Rockwell scene you'd expect from a brochure, until two future prisoners, roughly 5 to 7 years old, decide to take a detour from the monkey bars and stage a full-on bladder release right there in the sandbox. Yes, you heard me. They dropped trowel and peed in the fucking sandbox. Like it was some medieval village and the sandbox was their personal chamber pot. No shame, no hesitation, no adult supervision in sight. Just zip, whip, and stream like a couple of wild dogs marking their territory. And then, oh, it gets even worse. These pint-sized deviants pulled their shorts back up and just kept playing in the very sand they had just turned into a biohazard zone. Sand castles and piss puddles, hand in hand. Disgusting doesn't even begin to cover it. I wouldn't let my worst enemy's kid go near that sandbox unless they were wearing a hazmat suit. So here's my question. Where the fuck are these kids' parents? Are they wandering around the margarita bar thinking, oh, my little angels are having fun, while their spawn are out there creating urine quicksand for unsuspecting toddlers? What's being taught at home? If you gotta go, just go where the mood strikes you. Were they raised by wild raccoons? Did no one tell them that toilets exist, or do they think they're above civilization? I'll tell you what this is. It's an early warning sign of being a sociopath. You don't go from sandbox urinator to fully functional member of society without some kind of intervention. What's next? Peeing in the hotel pool? Well, sidebar, I think 75 to 80% of people, adults included, do pee in the pool. But I digress. Marking the breakfast buffet? This is not just a parenting failure, it's a full-scale breakdown in basic human decency. To the parents of these sandbox splashers, congratulations, you're raising the first generation of biohazard bros, and I hope you're proud. And to the resort staff, maybe slap a sign on that sandbox. Not suitable for play, may contain human waste. That's it, I'm done. Flush society, we're circling the drain. Okay, I'm going to try to stay calm here, but I absolutely won't, because this next one has me breathing fire through my nose like a dragon with indigestion. Let's talk about restaurants that can't get a simple order right. I'm not talking about a complicated 27-item tasting menu with molecular foam and edible glitter. I'm talking about no cheese, no mayo, gluten-free bun, basic, clear, specific, repeated, politely. And they still screw it up. How hard is this, really? I'm not giving you a riddle. I'm not speaking in tongues. I'm literally doing your job for you by telling you exactly what not to do. And somehow, you still bring out a plate smothered in the very thing I told you would turn my stomach into a Civil War battlefield. Even worse, if I say it's due to a food allergy, not a preference, not a diet trend, not I'm trying to be healthy thing, no, eat this and I get sick, Maybe even a trip to the ER kind of sick. Maybe die on your vinyl booth seat kind of sick. And your response? Oops, sorry. Oops? Really? You know where oops belongs? When you drop a fork, not when you serve me something that could cause my airway to close. And don't get me started on the smirkers. The ones who look at you like, oh, you're one of those people. Yes, I am one of those people. One of those people who would prefer not to violently projectile vomit or go into anaphylactic shock during your lunch rush. How inconvenient for you. And let's talk kitchen staff. Can we read the fucking ticket? Can we pause our TikTok dance routine long enough to double check the sandwich doesn't have dairy if the ticket says no cheese, allergy, in all caps with 6 exclamation points? It's not hard. You get one job. Feed me without trying to kill me. If I wanted to play roulette with my immune system, I'd lick the handrails at a public bus station. Oh, and when I send it back and say, this has what I told you I can't eat, don't give me attitude. Don't act like I'm the problem. I'm not the one you delivered a foodborne booby trap on a plate to. You are. Bottom line, if I take the time to tell you exactly what I can eat and you still mess it up, you're not just a bad server. You're not just a careless cook. You are now an agent of chaos, a culinary assassin, and I have zero patience left for it. Fix it, or next time I'm showing up with a bullhorn and reading your Yelp reviews aloud during the dinner rush.
Hey there, friends. It's time to reminisce. We're taking a trip to the land of bliss. Da 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 da. Remember this. Oh yes, you do. That thing you loved in '82. From Saturday mornings to corner store bliss, we're bringing it back. Remember this.
Okay, it's time to fire up the flux capacitor and take a trip back to a simpler, greasier, and wildly inappropriate time. This segment of Remember This? It's a Saturday night, late 1980s. You're not at a club. You're not at a movie. Nope. You're at the drive-thru at White Castle, where the sliders are small, but the drama is double XL. This wasn't just a place to eat, folks. It was the social nucleus of suburban nightlife. Forget your fancy lounges or cocktail bars. We had parking lots lit by fluorescent bulbs, windows smeared with mystery grease, and that glorious smell of onions wafting into the humid night air. You'd pull in blasting Poison or LL Cool J, windows down, Aquanet fumes trailing behind like a comet's trail. It didn't matter if your ride was beat up or Daddy's borrowed station wagon. Everybody met at White Castle, and I mean everyone. The metalheads, the jocks, the preps, the burnouts, and that one guy who definitely should have graduated 3 years ago, but still somehow showed up in a Trans Am every Saturday night. You weren't just there for food. Hell no. You were there to see and be seen. You might wait 45 minutes for a sack of 10 sliders and a chocolate shake, but you spend those 10 minutes laughing, fighting, flirting, and making plans that were absolutely illegal in at least 3 counties. And let's talk etiquette. You pulled up, radio cranked, ordered enough sliders to feed a little league team, and then circled back to park, not to eat, but to lurk. You lean on the hood, talk trash, hit on someone you actually had no business hitting on, and lie through your teeth about what party you were going to next. And the line? That drive-through line could have been part of a FEMA drill. It never moved. You'd watch cars age before your eyes. Babies were born. Relationships ended. And people grew beards waiting for a sack of grease bombs and onion rings. But nobody cared. Because it wasn't fast food. It was social currency. This is where memories were made. Where friendships were sealed over shared crinkle fries. And where that one guy puked out the window and still tried to hook up with someone 5 minutes later. Late 80s White Castle wasn't just a burger joint. It was a high school hierarchy on full display. Fueled by adrenaline, bad decisions, and extra pickles. God, I miss it. And if you were listening to this thinking I was there, then you know you survived the jungle. And if you weren't, well, I don't know what to tell you. Your youth was probably healthier, but way less fun.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hold up, it's 5. Dick Buttons lists are coming in live. From the best to the worst, you don't want to miss. It's Dick Buttons Top 5 list. Count them down, baby.
All right, sweet tooths and sugar junkies. Today, I'm going to tackle a topic that's divided playgrounds, office break rooms, and Halloween bags for generations. That's right, folks. We're counting down the top 5 candy bars of all time. According to me, Dick Buttons. And let's be honest, I'm usually right. Let's unwrap this bad boy. Coming in at number 5, the 100 Grand Bar. It debuted in 1966 from Nestle. Fun fact, originally called the $100,000 bar, it was rebranded in the 80s to 100 grand because apparently we don't have time to say 5 syllables anymore. Why it's on this list? Crispy rice, chewy caramel, and milk chocolate. This bar is a textural masterpiece. It doesn't melt in your hand like some of those overhyped candy divas. This is the underdog of the candy bar world. Low key, high payout. Just like finding a 20 in your winter coat. It's never been number 1 in sales, but it has a cult following. It's the indie film of candy bars. If you know someone's eating 100 grand, they get it. Coming in at number 4, Milky Way. Debuted in 1923. Invented by Frank Mars. Yes, that Mars. Fun fact, named not after the galaxy, but after a popular milkshake flavor at the time. Yeah, this bar was born during the flapper era. Why it's on this list? Nougat, caramel, milk chocolate, classic, clean, no nonsense. It's what you reached for before Snickers became the prom king of the candy world. Plus, the European version is darker, denser, and completely different, like Milky Way's evil twin. Still one of the best-selling bars globally, with tens of millions sold annually. Number 3, Twix. Debuted in 1967 in the UK and 1979 in the United States. Invented by Mars. Again, these people own the candy world. Fun fact, the name Twix comes from twin sticks, which is the only time a candy bar has ever tried to market itself like a gym routine. Why it's on this list? It's a cookie. It's caramel, and it's coated in chocolate. And it comes with 2 bars, so if you feel less guilty when you wolf down the first one in under 5 seconds. Left Twix, right Twix? Gimmick. We all eat both in one sitting like beasts. Over 160 million units sold in the U.S. alone in 2023. This thing is unstoppable. Number 2, Snickers. Debuted in 1930. Invented by, Frank Mars. Again, this man deserves a statue. Fun fact, named after the Mars family's favorite horse. That's right, your go-to gas station snack was named after a horse. It's on my list because this is a meal in bar form. Nougat, peanuts, caramel, chocolate. It's a full-body experience. If Milky Way is a smooth jazz ballad, Snickers is a stadium rock anthem. Consistently, the number 1 selling candy bar in the world, over $3 billion in global sales annually. You don't get more mainstream than Snickers, baby. And coming in at number 1, as if there was any doubt about this one. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Yeah, we're cheating. It's not a bar. Deal with it. Debuted in 1928. Invented by H.B. Reese, a former Hershey employee who started making them in his basement. Legend. Fun fact, each cup contains roughly 1,000 ridges on the edge. Okay, maybe not that many, but have you ever actually counted? I didn't think so. Why it's number 1? Peanut butter and chocolate. Done. The Elvis and Sinatra of flavor combos. They're perfect. Sweet, salty, creamy, melt in your mouth magic. You can freeze them, melt them, stack them. Hell, people put them on burgers now. And don't even get me started on the holiday versions. The Easter egg, the Christmas tree, the snowman. Perfection. Consistently, top 3 in the US, sometimes even beating Snickers. Reese's are the Beatles of candy, universal, timeless, untouchable. And as with every Dick Button's top 5 list, we do have some honorable mentions that just missed the cut. Baby Ruth, originally launched in 1921, totally not named after the baseball player, wink wink, full of nuts and nougat and still packs a punch. Butterfinger, created in 1923, once owned by Nestle, now Faro, nobody better lay a finger on one, unless you want a flaky mess on your shirt. Heath Bar, Toffee Lovers Unite, been around since 1928 and used in more Dairy Queen blizzards than actual blizzards in Wisconsin. Zero Bar, white fudge coated caramel, peanut and almond nougat. It's basically the goth cousin of Snickers. Weird, underrated, but unforgettable. And rounding out the honorable mentions is the whatchamacallit, launched in 1978. Great name, better bar. If you've never tried one, correct that mistake immediately. Listen, candy isn't just sugar and calories. It's nostalgia. It's identity. It's childhood in a wrapper. And if you disagree with this list, I don't care. Go eat a payday and rethink your life. All right, you deviants. Put down your popcorn and lock your damn doors, because today we're taking a detour down the darkest alley of humanity. That's right. This isn't your usual pop culture countdown. This is the top 5 serial killers of all time. Yeah, I know. Creepy, macabre, disturbing, but also completely captivating. These are the monsters that walked among us, the nightmares made flesh. And whether we like it or not, they're part of the cultural conversation because we can't look away. So here it is, the worst of the worst, the murderers who put evil on the map. Coming in at number 5, Albert Fish, known as the Brooklyn Vampire or the Gray Man. His body count? Confirmed 3, suspected over 100. He was active in the 1920s in the United States. He's on this list because this guy wasn't just a murderer. He was a demon in suspenders, a child killer, cannibal, and full-blown sadomasochist. Fish made Hannibal Lecter look like Mr. Rogers. He mailed a letter to the mother of one of his victims describing in detail how he cooked and ate her daughter. He inserted needles into his own pelvis for fun. This man was pure, undiluted nightmare fuel. Fun fact. I don't know. Can you have a fun fact with a serial killer? Well, let's see. When they finally executed him in the electric chair, his body short-circuited because of all the metal needles inside of him. Yeah, that was fun. Coming in at number 4, Ted Bundy, the campus killer. Confessed to 30, but possibly over 100 victims. He was active during the years 1974 to 1978. Also in the United States. Why he's on this list? Because Bundy rewrote the script on what people thought a serial killer looked like. Clean-cut, charming, smart, law student. The guy could have been your neighbor or your sister's boyfriend, and yet he was out there bludgeoning women with tire irons and doing unspeakable things to their corpses. Fun fact, he escaped twice. Twice! Once by jumping out of a courthouse window. The second time, he sawed a hole in his jail cell ceiling and walked out. He represented himself in court, turned his murder trial into a media circus, and still to this day has fans. Number 3, John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown. His body count? 33. Active through 1972 to 1978. Also the United States. I'm seeing a pattern here. Why he's on my list? Because Gacy is what happens when pure evil puts on face paint. He was a respected member of his community, met the First Lady, threw charity parties, dressed as a clown, and lured young men to his home where he raped and murdered them. Buried 26 of them under his crawl space. Fun fact, he also created paintings in prison, many of which have sold for thousands of dollars. Would you hang a clown painting by a serial killer in your living room? No? Then you're smarter than the people who actually did. Coming in at number 2, Andrea Chikatilo, the Butcher of Rostov. 52 confirmed murders. From 1978 to 1990. Oh, finally, we break out of the United States from the Soviet Union. Why he's on this list? Because this man was the Soviet Union's answer to Jack the Ripper, only worse. Andrea targeted children, teens, and women, mutilated bodies, gouged out eyes, and somehow slipped through the cracks for years thanks to bureaucratic cover-ups and incompetence. Fun fact, the Soviet authorities didn't even believe serial killers existed. They blamed the murderers on the homeless or mentally ill. Andrea was using his job as a traveling supply clerk to hunt across the countryside. And here we are, kids, coming in at number 1. H. Holmes, known as the Devil in the White City. His body count, officially 9, but possibly over 200 victims. He was active in the 1890s and right back to the United States. Why is he number 1? Because this man built a murder hotel, an entire building complete with trapdoors, gas chambers, peepholes, and a crematorium in the basement, all under the guise of a lodging house during the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Holmes wasn't just a killer, he was an architect of death. Fun fact, he was also a con artist, bigamist, and insurance scammer. He changed identities more often than Batman and wrote his own memoir after being caught. And, of course, like every Dick Button's top 5 list, we have some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. And funny enough, these are some more mainstream known serial killers. Jeffrey Dahmer, cannibal, necrophile, and Milwaukee's most infamous citizen. You've seen the documentaries, you know the drill. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, a Satan-worshipping killer who terrorized California in the 80s. Jack the Ripper, never caught. 5 confirmed victims in London's Whitechapel district in 1888, but his legend looms larger than the body count. Aileen Wuornos, America's most infamous female serial killer. Her story inspired the film Monster, which won Charlize Theron an Oscar. Ed Gein, technically not a serial killer, but inspired Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. That alone earns him a spot on the creeper radar. And finally, Son of Sam. I actually, as a child, lived through this. My grandparents lived right in the area where all this was happening, shooting victims in cars that were parked at Lover Lane spots. Look, I get it. This was a heavy one. But these are the boogeymen of modern history. Proof that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears a smile and mows its lawn like the guy next door. Now go watch some cartoons or eat a Snickers bar or something. We'll be back next week with something lighter, I promise. Like, I don't know, top 5 sandwiches named after murderers? Too soon?
Crank it up, let's drop the track. Dick Buttons takes you way, way back. Deep cuts, legends, riffs that bite. This is your Rebel Spotlight.
All right, grab your peanut butter and banana sandwiches, slide into your white jumpsuit, and crank the reverb because the very first album spotlight is going straight into the heart of Graceland. We're talking about a record that's equal parts legend, relic, and revelation. It's Elvis live from the Jungle Room. Let's clear something up first. This isn't some slick studio album recorded in Hollywood or Nashville. This was Elvis in 1976 inside his personal man cave at Graceland. He called it the Jungle Room. His lush, wood-paneled, green shag-carpeted lair of eccentricity. It was transformed into a makeshift studio by RCA and capturing the king on his home turf. What you get in this collection isn't perfection, it's Presley. Late-era Elvis, vulnerable, tired, but still magnetic. A man with nothing left to prove, singing from his soul while occasionally wearing a robe. The original recordings became the bulk of his final 2 albums released while he was alive. from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, 1976, and Moody Blue, 1977. But Live from the Jungle Room, released in 2016, pulls the curtain back. It combines the original master takes with rare outtakes and stripped-down alternate versions, giving fans the raw, unvarnished Presley, warts, wonder, and all. This isn't Vegas Elvis. This is haunted, weary, soulful Elvis. He's singing to ghosts. He's singing to himself. The liner notes detail the intimate, almost claustrophobic atmosphere of those sessions. You'll hear the creak of the floor, the breath between verses, and that voice, aging, cracking, still utterly iconic. No big guest stars, no flash, just James Burton and the TCB band, Elvis's longtime airtight crew, holding it down, playing with the kind of empathy and reverence only earned through years on the road. The standout tracks? Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this thing. Hurt. One of the most emotionally devastating vocals of his entire career. A song that feels like Elvis is exercising something deep. He practically bleeds into the microphone. Way Down. A rockin', swagger-heavy number that was the final single release before his death. It hit number 1 after he was gone. Danny Boy. Stripped, haunting, vulnerable. You can feel the weight of his years in every note. And She Thinks I Still Care, Take 2. Slower, sloppier, more human than the master. The kind of take that never would have made it into the 50s, but this hits different now. There's a beauty in the cracks here. It's not polished to death, and that's the point. When Live from the Jungle Room dropped in 2016, it didn't exactly top the Billboard 200, but that was never the point. This was a gift to the real fans, the historians, the obsessives, the ones who wanted to sit in that shag-carpeted room and hear the king one last time. It climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Country chart, and Elvis, decades after his death, once again proved he still had commercial power. What this album meant to Elvis, here's the thing. Elvis didn't love the studio anymore by 1976. He was sick, tired, and over it. But he still wanted to create, so we brought the studio to him. The Jungle Room sessions were a final act of control, of comfort. He didn't know these would be his last recordings, but you could feel in his delivery that he knew something was ending. This album is more than a collection of songs. It's a man wrapping up his story. Not with a bang, not with rhinestones and fireworks, but with emotion, soul, and honesty. So if you want to hear the sound of the king facing the final curtain, Live from the Jungle Room is it. It's not perfect, but neither was he. And that's what makes it unforgettable. That was our first album spotlight on The World According to Dick Buttons, and I look forward to doing more.
Thought he was done. Think again. He's fired up and taking names. It's time for Dick Button Rants.
Let's talk about planned obsolescence, folks. The greatest con job of the 21st century, and that's saying something. We live in a time where you could 3D print organs, launch billionaires into space for shits and giggles, and deep fake the Pope into wearing Crocs. But somehow, my dishwasher craps out after 18 months? My refrigerator sounds like it's dying of consumption at year 2? My dryer stops drying just in time for the warranty to disappear like a fart in the wind. You know why? Because they planned it that way. It's not a flaw. It's not bad luck. It's corporate strategy. These appliance companies aren't building machines anymore. They're building subscriptions. You don't own a washer. You lease a countdown to failure. They used to build things to last. I remember my grandmother had a fridge that looked like a battleship. We're talking heavy metal, thick doors, and it ran for 40 years on nothing but stubbornness and R12 coolant. You know what finally killed it? She died. That's it. The fridge outlived the cook. Today, you buy a high-end $3,000 refrigerator with Wi-Fi, a touchscreen, and some voice-activated crap that no one asked for, and guess what? It can't even keep lettuce crisp past Tuesday without throwing an error code like it's having a nervous breakdown. And when it breaks, oh, and it will, they send out some underpaid technician who takes one look, shrugs, and says, "It'll cost more to fix than just to buy a new one." What kind of clown world logic is that? Oh, sorry, did your $1,000 washing machine eat its own motherboard? Just toss it out like takeout containers and buy the next model, which, spoiler alert, is even cheaper and breaks faster. Let me ask you this. How is this legal? How are we letting companies gaslight us into believing that appliances dying in under 2 years is normal? That we should just accept being in a permanent loop of buying, breaking, replacing, repeating like rats in a capitalist microwave? Here's a wild idea. Build better stuff. You know how you fix the environment? How you fix the economy? You make a damn toaster that works for 30 years, not one that needs firmware updates and breaks if you use the bagel setting twice in a row. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of junky ovens with sensors that glitch when the wind changes. I'm sick of microwaves that give you exactly 13 months of reliable heating before they turn into radioactive paperweights. And I'm really sick of companies pretending this isn't by design. So here's to you, appliance industrial complex. Your crap's expensive, it's garbage, and I hope the next time your CEO's fancy smart fridge breaks, it locks them out and texts their spouse about it. All right, let me set the scene for you folks. You walk into the auto parts store, AutoZone, any of them, just trying to grab one thing. One. Maybe it's a headlight bulb. Maybe it's a damn wiper blade. You're not building a race car. You're just trying to keep your vehicle from being a rolling citation. And then it happens. You walk up to the counter and there's one cashier. Just one. And that cashier? They're locked in some kind of deep philosophical soul-bonding conversation with the guy in front of you like they're solving world hunger. Not ringing them up. Not scanning anything. Just standing there talking about camshaft tolerances, the carburetor their cousin rebuilt in 1997, or which spark plug brand has the most soul. Meanwhile, I'm back here holding a jug of coolant like a damn statue in the temple of inefficiency, wondering if I should age gracefully into a corpse before they finish their TED Talk on fuel injection systems. It's like they've decided that commerce is dead, and now it's all about connection. Hey, pal, if you want to host a podcast about your Dodge Dart's emotional journey, go start one. This is a store. There is a line, and I have places to be, things to fix, and sanity to maintain. And don't you love how the person in front of you doesn't even notice the line growing behind them like a conga line of rage? They're up asking for a very specific bolt that fits a 3.8-liter engine from the 92 Buick that only came in maroon. And the cashier is like, "Yeah, I remember that engine. Classic stuff." No, it's not. You're wasting my time discussing ancient metal fossils, which I'm just trying to drive home without overheating. And God forbid you clear your throat or shift your weight. They look at you like you're the impatient jerk for not respecting the sacred auto parts confession booth. Here's a thought. Get a second cashier. Or better yet, if you want to socialize, take that nonsense to a Denny's and let the rest of us buy our damn windshield wipers and get on with our lives. I didn't come here to hear about someone's aftermarket exhaust regrets. I came here to make a purchase, not attend auto parts therapy with Dr. Phil and his assistant Carl behind the register. Wrap it up, ring it up, shut it up. Now let me out of this fluorescent lit purgatory before I start using the bottle of brake fluid as a weapon.
He's bold, he's sharp, he's in the know. Get ready, folks, it's Vincenzo. Say his name and feel the glow. Buckle up, kids, you're in the Vincenzo.
All right, welcome everybody. It is time for the Vincenzo. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
And before we get started with this week's topic, fuck Elmo. I'm not sure if you saw what was going on in the news.
No.
Somebody hacked the official Elmo account, and he was tweeting, "Kill the Jews, release the Epstein list."
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not
Elmo,
fun.
I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed. But today's Vincenzo topic is a little bit lighter. If you remember our first foray, or was it our second?
I think it was our first.
First. Maybe it might have been our first. We are going to review the new Superman movie. That's right, James Gunn's Superman. Vincenzo and I went to go see it last Saturday. I had mid to low expectations. You, sir.
I had upper mid.
So I will start. I didn't like it. And now you know my score is going to be low. But it was a good movie.
No.
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 Not even good?
No, it wasn't a good movie. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's organized chaos. It was. And this is coming from somebody who.
Yeah, you were
Superman.
You're a James Bond, New York Giants, and Superman mark.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Nope, that's about it.
That's probably about it. Where I think James Gunn went wrong, and this surprised me because I like James Gunn stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, I enjoyed those movies.
It feels like it was a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because they got worse as they went on.
Almost, but like, here's how it seemed to me. It seemed like there were 5 short stories,
correct,
that were thrown all together into one movie, but they didn't connect.
You nailed it. It was too much of everything and not enough of anything is what it was, and that's exactly what you're saying. It was. It almost seemed like he pulled stuff from his James Gunn movies. Then he took a bunch of stuff from Superman and DC Comics,
right?
And he put them in a blender, and then he poured it out, and it was like it wasn't coherent.
The problem I had also, he was touting during the press for the movie and while they were writing the fucking movie that this wasn't going to be an origin story. And granted, that first scene, 3 decade, 3 like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then, but at every juncture, I'll give an example. When they made it back to the Fortress of Solitude after he got his ass kicked, the robots were giving us backstory. Like,
right.
If this is truly 3 years into the story and it's not an origin story, then don't have the fucking characters give me backstory.
Correct. Right.
Lex Luthor's people. Oh, he's been doing this for 3 years.
I only have to say, by the way, we had to hear that over and over and over, yet we have no hint of who Hawkgirl was when she showed up. She and for
right.
people who, you go to a outside of the comic universe,
right?
You walk in, even Guardians of the Galaxy, you got to know the characters and they kind of explained them a little bit. And then this one, it was like, people showed up.
Yeah, right. All right, before we have to get more organized with this. There's a button here that I've been wanting to play with on my console.
Push it, baby.
So it's not on right now. Now, it says dry wet. Now, do you hear? I'm going to hit this.
Okay.
Do you hear? Oh. Well. I like that. Let me now if I turn it off. Hello. Oh, no, it sounds the same.
Oh, no, it sounds a little
dry. No. Oh, I like that.
No, it's a little more emphasis.
And I'm going to leave this in the editing. When I get to the editing room, I'm going to leave this in. You get a little behind the scenes shit. Okay. Let me start with what I felt worked in Superman. As much as it pains me, I thought the crypto stuff was fun. It was. And I actually watched an interview with Corn Sweat on Jimmy Fallon from last night. And they had motion capture actors on all fours because the dog is completely CGI,
right?
Based off of James Gunn's dog,
right? His rescue dog.
I thought the scenes. Now, I watched you watched the Den of Nerds on YouTube. That guy,
yes.
There were scenes that were cut out. Mind you, the complete cut of Superman is 4.5 hours. So when those people shell out the money for the DVD, but there were two scenes where Crypto was tortured,
Right. There was one where he was punched in the face.
punched in the face,
They
and
took that out.
took that out,
Then
tortured. So whatever.
Right.
I liked Crypto. I thought it worked. I thought that the joking between him and Superman was stupid. Whatever. I also thought the flying worked.
Yes.
I was quite impressed with the special effects for the flying. Not that,
And I think he cleaned it up a lot too, because I think we had some feedback on that. Because if you notice, we had in the beginning when they showed trailers, the early stuff, you saw Superman flying with his face, and they said his eyes don't look right, and so he made a lot of adjustments and did more of his flying.
well, you know how many G-forces he experiences when he flies? Come on, his eyes would be all over the
Well,
place.
he's got Man of Steel face.
Right. And the last thing I thought that worked, and correct, because we talked about this in the car on the way to the diner, but I liked Mr. Terrific.
I loved Mr. Terrific.
I would actually enjoy him in his own fucking movie.
It should have been a whole movie about Mr. Terrific and Crypto, and him trying to deal with the dog. And
Now, I'm going to play, I'm going to use your fucking line. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Did it work because it was in small doses?
Correct. It did. It did because
He almost had a "what you talking about, Willis" type of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So if in a span of an hour and a half, 2 hour movie, the few times we heard that, but if you had to hear that cadence and that quipping every 10 minutes, I think it might get old.
Yeah, it would.
I like the Peacemaker cameo. Oh, by the way, too late now. For any of you losers who have not been to the movies yet to see this thing, this is a spoiler review. I think that was it. What did you think worked for you?
You know, and as I think about it, less and less of it worked. Less and less of it worked. It became less coherent. The tone got even more dismal the more I thought about it. It was just, it became more of a disaster in my head. It just felt like piecemeal of things that were, spaghetti was thrown against the refrigerator. Let's see what sticks.
Yes, I do believe that. And based on what you just said, George Reeves somewhere is turning over in his grave.
He's rolling. He's rolling.
No, not based on how bad the movie was, based on what you just said, because you're such a Superman fan. I think your voice, what you just said, is reaching into the crypt and and then you corrected me on something. I never heard, because I never read Superman. Did you?
I did. Sure.
Okay, I never did. So the whole hypno glasses thing,
right?
Mind you, never mentioned in any previous Superman iteration film.
And you know what? That was something I liked. I liked that he pulled something from the comic book and threw it in there. It's unfortunate that the movie didn't work, where it would have been more of a fascinating kind of thing, and the characters were developed enough to talk about it. But I think that's a great little Easter egg they pulled out from the comics.
But what a bullshit piece of technology, though, to be honest.
Well,
pay no attention to the man behind these glasses.
Superman.
This is not the Krypton you're looking for.
He had a Fortress of Solitude and robots. Why are the glasses all of a sudden a point of contention?
Huh? I just think that's, well, robots.
I think because you've never heard about it, and you say, it's a gimmick they threw in. But if
I don't know everything, Vincenzo.
If they didn't pull it from the comics, then I'd have an issue. If they didn't pull it from a comic book.
So your list of things you liked was smaller than mine.
Sorry.
So let's get into the things that we did not like. I said to you, walking out of the theater,
right?
It was a tonal, and how I put it on Facebook, a tonal Frankenstein. I switched it up. I used something else in the car. I forgot.
You said tonal disaster.
Yeah,
which
but I think
like total disaster.
But when I thought about it, I took my initial comment about how it was 5 stories thrown together, and then I came up with tonal Frankenstein, because 1 minute there's Guardians of the Galaxy type jokes,
correct,
and the next minute Lex Luthor is in cold blood blowing somebody in the temple in that prison.
When you talk about the 2 deaths in the movie that seemed out of place,
somebody else died.
So you had Lex, And
Lex didn't die.
I mean, you had Lex shooting
Yeah.
and killing somebody. So that death came out of nowhere. When
Well, who was the other death?
the other death was Hawk Girl dropped the guy from.
Oh, but he was a bad guy. So I mean,
But still, you didn't really see it coming with that tone. The tone didn't lend itself to saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to be killing people." It was kind of a we're saving squirrels. And
so thank you for saying that, because now, yeah, I talked to somebody about this at work. Was it work? Yes. The fact that they showed him fucking saving a squirrel, I thought was possibly the stupidest part of the movie. And I said, how many people died while he was saving the squirrel? But then they made a point of saying, if you were listening to the news report, it said 0 casualties in the background.
And by the way, with all those buildings crashing and stuff, how did you know that you had 0? How long does it take to go through buildings?
It must have been a holiday because there was nobody in those buildings. That bothered me. I kind of liked Lex Luthor.
No,
I said kinda because I kept here, and this is the problem when you make, what is this, the 5th iteration of this character?
I figure you get it right by now.
Well, no, I think the problem is when you have that many iterations of characters. I found myself going right back to Gene Hackman, which you said you didn't care for, but I mean, that was my first taste of Superman, and his Lex Luthor to me was perfect. Now, I watched Smallville, I watched Lois and Clark. What's the other one? There wasn't a third TV show. Smallville, Lois and Clark, and there was another one in there.
Superman and Lois.
Oh, Lois and Clark are explorers, aren't they?
No, that's Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark was with Dean Cain, and
no, the newest one.
The newest one was Superman and Lois. No?
Yes, okay. That Lex Luthor was the guy from Walking Dead,
right?
The other guy was some other bald actor.
Michael Rosenbaum was from Smallville. That's the one I like.
And then you throw just Jesse Eisenberg in there from Batman versus Superman,
right?
Which he played more of a Gene Hackman type, which I actually appreciated.
Yeah, he was a little more unstable.
Yes,
crazy, almost to the Joker kind of thing.
All right, so what else did you not like? Let me simmer on this.
Superman's suit.
Oh,
okay. So the rubber belt. You're looking at it, and all I could see is the rubber belt.
Underoos.
Oh, it was worse. Did you see him when they handcuffed him and they were walking him from the side angle?
I think he had camel toe at one point. Oh no, wait. What's the male version of camel toe? Oh, moose knuckle. I think that's what he had.
And it looked like Ma Kent crocheted it. Did you see
it was baggy too.
Oh, that's what I mean. It looked like it was crocheted.
And the cape looked like felt from Michaels. I don't.
The whole thing was.
Now, the
design? I like the design. If they had only tightened it up, maybe even made it the colors a pinch darker.
Are you saying you're upset his outfit wasn't tight, Vincenzo? Is that what I'm hearing?
A little form fitting would have been nice.
Okay.
It's like it was like the before picture is Div Cornsweat and the after picture is Henry Cavill's suit.
Do you think that James Gunn had the foresight to give us a baggy DIY Superman suit in the first movie so that when we get to the second movie, it'll look better? Or do you think that was not the case?
I don't even know anymore. I would have hoped that they would have switched it up at the end or something, like it was damaged. And Ma Kent said, I'll crochet you another one. He says, no, Ma, I got Mr. Terrific is going to hook me up. I don't know what that was. How did you look at it? How did the people look at it from Disney, Warner Brothers?
It's
Disney's Marvel.
Disney's Marvel.
Warner Brothers or the executives somebody didn't say, listen, could we do something with the suit? You could do something CGI and tighten it up and make it better.
Yeah, they should have. When we got the first still image of the suit, people were losing their shit.
It looked worse on
live action.
As he was walking, and you just see all that quilted fabric shifting. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it was. That bothered me. Very much. The other thing that annoyed the shit out of me. Now I forgot. We'll edit this
Listen,
pause out.
and getting back to Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
he seemed a little more angry frat boy instead of evil genius. He seemed like he was.
I did like how
overdone.
unhinged he was. Like he was admitting that his envy of Superman drove him to do the things that he did, and I thought I appreciated that.
I like the sentiment, but I don't like the delivery. The delivery was kind of hokey. I felt I didn't feel like, holy shit, this is a guy I should be scared of. The only time that the best scene in that movie was when Superman crashes through Lex's office to find the dog.
But then he yells about the fucking dog, though.
They go that back and forth with what dog are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And
yeah,
they go back. That was a great
red cape. He like mumbled into the coffee cup.
So there was a good exchange. We could see Superman as how intense he was and how Lex kept his cool. It was like, screw you, I'm in charge.
Yeah, but he was yelling about the fucking dog. That's one of the things I didn't like. That scene and the end scene where Superman gives, I'm human. I have feelings. Exactly. I get up every day and don't know what to do. You're fucking Superman. You don't know what to do.
That was a terrible scene, and the music didn't match it either. The music was trying to play in the background and trying to build it up, and it was all mismatched.
I'm going to jump back to this. I did like that they incorporated the John Williams theme.
I do too. Some people thought that was hokey, and I thought actually it was a nice nod.
It was a nice nod, and I think
especially the way the name credits did the same thing for Christopher Reeve's movie. The way they
they took the same graphic. Now the other thing that I did not like, and listen, I'm not the most savvy moviegoer. I'm not saying I know shit that other people don't. But I saw that Ultraman thing coming a million fucking miles away.
Right.
He just walks into the Fortress of Solitude. I knew you needed DNA to get in there. This Ultraman, whoever he was supposed to be, wink, wink, kicked Superman's ass in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Who's the only one that could kick Superman's ass other than Superman himself?
Correct.
So that was not a surprise. And the other thing, plot-wise, that was just showing so, I think, I don't want to say immature, so lazy, was that Eve Teschmacher was the one that wound up taking down.
Well, she looked like that was like a blonde stereotype or something going on there.
Well, I mean, the original
wasn't even imaginative.
What was her name? The actress.
It was actually painful to watch. And then the whole thing with Jimmy Olsen was very awkward and painful. And
because listen, let's be honest. There's no way Jimmy would pull that, even though she was she was totally out of his league, even though she was crazy. What was the actress's name who played Eve Teschmacher in the original Superman? Valerie Perrine. I found myself comparing this new younger version of Eve Teschmacher to the old one. But you know, it's funny. I wonder how old Gene Hackman was in that first movie, because I just think those characters played older,
right,
in that first one as compared to.
Well, they might be going after a younger audience.
Yeah, but you know, here's the problem. You and I didn't like it, but it did over 200 million.
Oh, and you just see some of the reviews where they were, one guy said on a review, and Superman in his natural form saving a squirrel, that's what he's all about. And I went,
shut the fuck up. No, listen, I remember as far back as the Superman George Reeves television show, him saving a cat out of a tree. So that is really not out of the realm of.
But with all the things that were going on.
Yeah, I get it.
Squirrel. Yeah.
I get it. The other thing that was infuriating for me, and I think they pared this back because of the test screenings, were those fucking social media monkeys shit posting about Superman. I think that from listening to Den of Nerds and Boba Talks and all those other channels, Screen Crush, I think that was a major plot point. And I think they pared that back because they realized how fucking stupid that is.
And they still kept it in. Crazy.
I don't know. Somebody liked that idea. Now, you read the comics. Was there ever? Well, no, because back then there was no social media. So
they didn't do that. that was a whole social media thing for today's audience.
And then the whole happy at the end crypto plane with the monkeys. Did you catch that?
It was like the ending of a Disney movie where everything is like happy and Prince Charming wins and he gets he gets the whole. It just
Now the other thing that bothered me, the ending of the movie with Supergirl should have been the post-credit scene.
absolutely.
Not the two assholes staring at a crooked crack in a building. How could Superman even expect him to put the two buildings back together the way they were?
Right.
So that was a wasted post-credit scene. The drunk, hungover Supergirl was much more interesting.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It kind of teased something completely different for Supergirl. And
So I'm going to dive into the Supergirl world for a second. So if she's world hopping to get to places where she can get drunk, why does she even care about saving people?
well, maybe she probably has a much more complicated backstory. It's got to be well, why did Deadpool kill some people and save some people? I think it's just I think it's a backstory thing that we don't know about yet, or if you've read the comics.
That's deep. Yeah, why did that? Well, that's a good
Because
question.
if you think about it, Supergirl was doing that crazy drunk thing at the end, and thanks for watching my dog, bitch, and out she goes.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of that out of the box craziness of Deadpool. I says that's probably where they're going. They're going to do that out of the box.
Yeah, but
thing with her.
when it's just one scene like that, like I don't know.
Or she's going to have Lobo in her movie, and it's going to be.
Yeah,
so
I would
think
like
that's
to have
gonna set the
seen.
tone for
I would like to have
craziness.
seen Lobo show up in a post-credit scene. Tease that. Do something.
And they're probably just saving it for Supergirl.
The other thing that bothered the shit out of me, that one scene where Perry White, they're all in the Daily Planet, and it was right after they figured out where Superman, what was happening.
Right.
And Perry White goes, Lois, do you still have that spaceship? How many does it seat? Let's go. Like
I know. It just
were our spaceships that commonplace that Perry White's like, let's jump in one? And she actually flew it once.
yeah. And you know what? Mr. Triffick was like, listen, you get in there and
He said it was intuitive.
listen. And then if she got killed in it or killed other people in it,
Right. So you suspend reality so you can have a movie.
but it wasn't even logical in the context for a lot of these things. You know, when he did Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just great storytelling. You didn't know who the characters were.
The first one.
The first one. You didn't know who the characters were. He explained as he went along. I never got to the end of the movie and went, who's that person again? Or why did they act that way? Or it was just great storytelling. This was terrible storytelling. It was a mishmash of things. It wasn't cohesive. The tones were off. There was just so many things wrong. I didn't even, I couldn't defend it because I was so prepared to see. I told you.
Yeah, you were ready to have me eat crow and say, just wait till the new James Bond comes out, and I'm going to shit on that too. But
but by the way, I won't defend it either if it's crap.
But that has I think a higher potential to shit the bed than the Superman movie did.
It does, yeah.
Especially if they go. I mean, I don't know if they go young. Are they thinking of going younger? I don't know. Is it?
But you know what? I don't.
James Bond, the high school
the things they were leaking. Well, they want to start with somebody 30 years old, so they can take on 4 or 5 movies.
I think they should start following him in grade school. Like,
when did you first notice?
Like, you know, he
like gadgets.
Yeah, he has gadgets in high school, and you know that's not a bad idea for a movie.
Nice.
James Bond, the grade school years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so. Anything else you didn't like? I mean, I've been talking about the shit I didn't like. I want to hear something that you just, when you saw it, groaned to yourself.
The acting.
Everybody's acting?
Oh my God, everybody. But some of it, I feel, was the direction they were supposed to act in. And some of it, I just thought was the acting. When they were sitting in the meeting room and talking to Lex, all the military personnel and everybody who's going to give him money to go get Superman and put him in jail.
Right.
that acting, the whole conversation sounds like something that was out of a high school play. It didn't sound like it was.
Well, I mean, this is not The Godfather. This is a comic book movie.
Yeah, but you know what? It sounded a little more. It sounded a little more urgent when you heard it in Man of Steel. So when they sat around, they were talking about him and had him in a.
Well, Man of Steel was a totally different.
But it was the way they delivered their lines. It was just. It didn't seem like it looked like they were reading off cue cards. Well, I think, Lex, you're going to be in real big trouble if you. It's just like, oh, I know it's a comic book movie from a comic book.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
You could have elevated it a little.
Now, what else? Something else that bothered me. And listen, I'm not a Superman purist. I could give a shit about continuity between shit, but when Lex Luthor went into the Fortress of Solitude and got the message from his parents, and the first part was okay. Superman never heard the second part. Was damaged in transit. I initially thought that Lex changed it.
Oh, so did I.
Right. So, but it turns out that his parents were motherfuckers.
Creepy.
So, but that's not a comic thing, is it?
No, it's not a comic.
All right, so that's James Gunn taking license with the story.
Right.
Now, are we going to get... So, wait. So, okay. So, Superman's parents were assholes. How did his cousin get here? His aunt and uncle are not... They don't have the same thought that she's going to rule over Earth? Did they just send her there for what reason?
Well, families are different, so maybe they're, his cousin's parents didn't think the same way.
Well, it was either Jarrell's brother or sister,
right?
Or his. I don't even know his. What the fuck's his, Martha?
Right.
Oh no, Martha's the Kent lady.
By the way, didn't If You Fall Invincible, weren't the Invincible's parents also of the same mindset? Get to Earth, and I want you to conquer them. And
is that Invincible's the one where the kid has the Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah. Where they
No, I thought it was something else. Are we talking about two different?
We might be talking about two different things. I'm not talking about Invincible. So
it had a different name. Brightburn. Thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google.
Good movie.
Yeah.
And instead of using his powers for good, he became an asshole.
Right. How could it have turned out differently?
Now, I think, listen, I've been in this world almost 60 years. It'll be almost.
Drum roll Sunday.
Yes. I think most people who had powers like that would wind up being an asshole.
Absolutely. That guy who cut me off in traffic, guess what? I'm going to heat ray vision your tires.
Steve Martin had a funny line in his comedy bit when he was doing stand-up back in the late 70s. He did a bit where... No, actually, it was an SNL bit when he was on. He realized he was invisible. And he goes, think of all the good things I can do in the world. And then they cut to the scene. The cops are taking him out of the ladies' YMCA. I think that's 85 to 90% of the people. And I know people, there's more better people in the world. No, there's not.
Well, but then he's the exception to the rule. And that's what makes him Superman. I think that's the whole point. That
okay, this has nothing to do with the movie. How do him and Lois have sex? That I'm sorry.
So I remember John Byrne, who was the comic artist and writer for Superman back in the day, and he was asked the same question. And just the same reason he can plop on the bench with Pa Kent and not break that bench they were sitting on. He has control, which probably took a lot of time to.
Yes, but during
you have. Well, I know there's a upper and lower limit. Yeah, I really wanted to defend it all the way through, and then I kept looking at him, going, I can't believe it's this bad.
Were you like devastated?
I wasn't devastated. I was just disappointed. I was disappointed that, listen, you're starting from scratch. You've got millions of dollars, to your beck and call to make this work, and that's what you gave me.
How much was the budget? Did we know? I mean, I'm sure I heard it or read it at some point.
Didn't it need? Wasn't it 500 million?
Really?
Maybe it was 300. 300 million and 200 million in marketing, or was it 500 million and 200 million in marketing? It's got to make a lot of money.
Holy shit. I just looked at my post about the Superman review. I have
Right.
80 comments. I'm not going to say his name. The more I think about it, this review feels like you're just trying to get engagement via an extremely controversial standpoint. How about it's just my fucking opinion?
Oh no, I read the Hollywood Insider, and they mirrored how we felt. They mirrored, and they picked out and this guy was like, listen, I have nothing against Superman. I like Superman. He says, I went in wanting to see a fresh take on, and he started with the tone, and then he just went from there. So,
and then this guy, and you would be right. The negative aspects of his review he seemed to struggle to come up with. No, I didn't.
Oh no, it was pretty plain and simple.
I was texting myself shit in the car to remember when I wrote the review. So don't tell me I struggled.
I didn't have to write anything down. It was just you just reliving the nightmare. That's what it was. It was the things that you wish go right, and then it was one bad thing after another, and I was looking for the good things to say, oh, but this was really good, and the problem was everything else just dragged it down. So even if the good things were dragged down, so again, like you said, can you have a whole movie about Mr. Terrific and crypto? You cannot.
This person, I'm sorry you can't enjoy things in life. Again. If I can't have my own opinion, I mean, the whole entertainment business is based on reviews and critics and who likes it, who doesn't like it. Fuck all of you people.
Listen, I love the Man of Steel, so I was looking for a fresh take from Gunn in his own story and bring it down to a different level. And when people said, "Oh, the Man of Steel's," but it's going to be a different movie, but it wasn't a different good movie. That was the problem for me.
This person, I may say his name, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
And why not just put Superman in the Pocket Universe and destroy all access to it? Superman problem solved.
Oh, good idea. You should have told Gunn that. Though.
Well, because, now we're getting into comic book logic. Just like when you watch the 1960s Batman thing.
Right.
For every fucking time the villains caught Batman and Robin, if they just fucking killed them,
shoot them in the head the first
not
time.
put them in a thing and then leave, hoping that they die
unwatched.
I've ignored this post, and I think I'm gonna maybe do a whole segment on it. Here we go. This person is smart. This is probably the best review I've read so far of this movie that I wanted to love as much as I loved any movie because I love the character. And I thought if anyone could nail it, it would be James Gunn. But you're right as far as everything being all over the place tone-wise. And I was amazed how many times the jokes in the movie landed with a thud. Like when Lois Lane put a comedic amount of sugar in her coffee. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is she, Jerry Lewis now?
Yeah. She's just standing there and she's pouring the sugar and pouring the sugar.
Should give this guy's name, but I won't because it's not. I love how people think movies can only have one tone. No, it's not the
problem was the movie didn't have a consistent tone.
Well, I mean, so now listen, I'm going to second guess this. So listen, does The Godfather have two tones?
No.
Well, there's the wedding.
Yeah, but it's all told in a very serious. First of all, the storytelling is great, and second of all, the tone is really all the same. Does it mean you can't have? I mean, even in Man of Steel, they had those moments where Henry Cavill and I forget her name is Lois Lane, where
Amy Grant
fall into the bathtub together when he's he's kissing her, and they have some playful moments. But it was still all the same tone, and it was all shot the same way. And it wasn't, things didn't come out, different animation didn't come out of any, just somewhere. Yeah, he.
And you just gave me something else that I didn't like. When they let that little Stitch out of the box.
Yeah.
It looked like Stitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was forced to watch under duress the live action Lilo and Stitch, so it was fresh in my mind of what that little thing looked like. It was that without fur.
It was like, yeah, that kaiju.
Is that what Stitch
They
is?
call it, well, no, but they let out was a kaiju that grew in size, and the problem was it looked like a Macy's Day parade balloon.
This person said it was terrible. That's a lot of writing for finally DC made a comic book movie. I didn't say that, did they? I didn't say that they finally made a comic book movie.
No.
Oh, someone had a picture of the monkeys. I actually saw. I have some people.
How about the special effects with the what was it? What was that lava that he was?
Oh, thank you.
That was like something out of Tron.
No, Minecraft. Did you see Minecraft?
Minecraft, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was another fucking thing I had to sit through under duress, by the way. and thank God for nobody listened, but thank God for Cody that I'm not paying full price to see these fucking movies, because the minute I saw that proton river, it looked like a scene. I was waiting to see Jack Black come in and go shaka boom.
That was terrible. And that didn't match anything.
Listen. So, you and I have been going to see superhero movies for ever since Avengers or pre. I mean, many, many years now.
And we're on the same page when we walk out.
Most of the time. And there have been very few. I don't want to start comparing them to other movies.
But you and I have never walked out of a movie and you went, that movie was terrible. And I went, what are you talking about? The movie was great.
No, yeah, you and I are pretty much.
Never, ever walked out of a movie.
Now, we walked into this movie on a different page.
Yes, I expected.
You were like, oh, you wait and see, Dick. You wait and see.
I couldn't believe
I waited.
I can't believe I had to go to the diner afterwards and order crow. It was terrible.
And midway, at a midpoint, at a crucial point in the movie, maybe because it was did you have Sam Adams? Is that what you had?
I did. That was a big Sam Adams. It was a tall.
You went to the bathroom. Like, I refuse. I'll pee my pants before. If it's a good movie, I'm not getting up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and you know what? I sat there and said, is there a good time to go? Every time's a good time to go because this doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So I figured I'm not.
Yeah.
I think it was the Proton River.
Yes, because you missed
and I went,
Krypton coming back, or no, Crypto.
And I sat there and said, yeah, you know what? I think he's going to be struggling for a while. I'm going to go. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Listen, it was a night out. We got to have a meal at the diner. It was a good, yeah. I mean, I enjoy the movies. I grew up on the movies. Yeah. I'm sure as you did. My mom, we sat and watched. I did a segment about the 4:30 movie a couple episodes ago on ABC, and that was part of my childhood. So to all you fuckers on Facebook who said I'm not entitled to my opinion, you didn't come out and say that, but in so many words you did. I'll handle you motherfuckers next.
The guy who was criticizing you, did you see the movie?
Oh, trust me, when we're done recording this, I'm going to dive in. He didn't say.
Well, there's half of the problem.
But here's what makes, and we'll end it on this. Here's what makes the world such a wonderful place. I give my opinion, and then on social media, people could give their opinion. But the problem people have is I didn't say anybody else was wrong. I gave my opinion.
Correct.
Then there's all these jabronis jumping on telling me that my opinion is not valid and is wrong. That's where these fuckers make their mistake.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now I'm all worked up. I think I'm going to record some rants for next week's episode. Vincenzo, thank you for joining me on this review.
Thank you for having me.
We'll think of a topic for next week for you and I to do. This week's episode, I started a new segment called Album Spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who have already listened, because this is how we close out the podcast every week with Vincenzo, I did Elvis Live from the Jungle Room. Very cool research for that. I think your homework for next week is to pick an album that you want to do a deep dive into.
I already got it.
And that,
I've already got it.
Let's let them hang for a little bit.
All right.
And that has been this week's episode of The World According to Dick Buttons. This has been the Vincenzo. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys next week. Remember, stay safe, stay cool, And don't mock my fucking opinions, you little bastards. Over and out.
He's bold, he's brash, don't give a damn. Tells it straight, just who he am. No filter, no fear, he cuts through the noise. Dick Button speaking truth with that big old voice. It's the world, yeah, the world, according to Dick Buttons. Fridays get real every damn week. Tune in, lean in, and let the man speak. Dick Button speaking truth with that big old voice. It's the world, yeah, the world, according to Dick Buttons. Fridays get real every damn week. Tune in, lean in, and let the man speak.